Another episode of Grim 3D. You're in luck. We're going to install this on the Monster D9 500. Stay tuned. So this is a bracket I found on Thingiverse. I'll put the attribution in the comments. What this does is it raises up the Y-axis motor so that the belt is in line from the front to the back. Now, you can't really see the belt too well on camera, so I took some pictures of it. And even though in the back I have added a belt tensioner, which the attributes for that will be in the comments below as well, the belt tensioner keeps the belt pulley at about the same height as the original unadjustable D9 pulley. The problem is that I actually raised the bed up a little bit when I did the linear rails for the Y-axis. So now I actually printed a spacer, and you can check out the video for that, but I printed a spacer to make the belt and the pulley and everything line up properly. But I measured that spacer for the front near the motor. So in the back it actually is off a little bit, and the bottom of the belt is actually rubbing on the bottom of the carriage there. So in the front it's fairly lined up, even though this is going to raise it so that both of those are in line, so that the one spacer, I can make one spacer and get everything perfectly straight from the front to the back. Here's how I'm going to install this. I'd like to take this opportunity right up front to ask people to subscribe. Got a lot of new subscribers. Would love to have a lot more. I know there's tons of people that are watching my content that are totally unsubscribed, and absolutely unknown new visitors. We'd love to have you as part of the Grim 3D family. Go ahead and click that button. So the first thing I'm going to need to do right here is I'm going to need to loosen up this belt, maybe even take it off. I don't think I'll have to take it off, but here's my belt tightener, the aftermarket, that I put the attribution for in the comments below. So I can loosen up this belt. Let's just go all the way loose on that. Should give us enough slack so that we don't have to actually pull the belt out of there. So now I got to go to the front of the machine. So I think this is about the best angle for people to be able to see what I'm doing. There's not a whole lot better angle that I can get in my space. So first of all, I'm just going to slip the belt off of there. That's why I gave it that extra slack. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the motor off. Just these 4 screws. And I don't think that I'm going to have to undo the wires for the motor at all. I don't see that being part of our issue here. Now before I take out that last screw, I'm going to take a black Sharpie, and I know this is black on black, but I should still be able to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark in the back there, the center of that gear right there. So I'm just marking the center of that. Nice and heavy line so I can see it. Then I can take out the last screw. So I can then just ease that motor out. And actually I think I'm just going to let that kind of dangle on the table. Now I need to take these T-nuts out. So if I'm careful, I can undo those and I'll know when they twist just by feeling it. I would bet this one's got to come all the way out, seeing as they're at 90-degree angles. There we go. So that's that. Got it on the end of my small Allen wrench. So to prep for putting this one back in, I know that this goes this direction. So this T-nut, I'm going to have to put on the horizontal T-nut first. Okay, it doesn't have to be too far on. Plenty of space in there. And then on the top one, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the T-nut in there. Then slide the horizontal T-nut in. Aim that other T-nut and hopefully these reused screws are long enough to grab onto that. There we go. It's totally grabbed onto it already. This one's already grabbed on because I put it together outside the extrusion bar. So I got a new vantage point. Hopefully you can see a little bit better over there. A little bit better for the camera. I can tell right out of the gate here that I am going to need shorter screws. You can see that right there. That screw sticks out quite a bit, and I'm sure it will not thread into the motor that far. So we're going to pull those out of there. This is the original screw. So let's try a 3mm by 8mm long screw. See how much that sticks out on the far side. Oh, I got about 4 threads sticking out, which should be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my motor on there. Change hands so maybe you can see a little bit better. I'm just going to put that one on there. Not quite tight. I want it to hold it on there for me. And then I will go ahead and put in my other screws. Next one. Third one got hung up. Try it again. Got it. Straight through. Get it in, started down in the threads. Number 4. Now they're all in. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. I'm sure you don't have to kill them. Make sure they're nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can feed my belt through there. In retrospect, I may have wanted to do the belt before I tighten the motor down, but that's okay. I'm thinking it'll go on just the same. There we go. It's on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide this to the side and find my mark for the center of the belt is right there, which actually the center of the pulley lines up with that screw now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the screw on the mark, and then I can go ahead with my larger Allen wrench, and I'm not going to tighten that up just yet. I want to make sure that this one locks in properly. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some torque on this one. And there you have it, nice and solid. Boy, that's solid. Now my belt's still super loose. I haven't tightened that up yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just give these some cranks with my Allen wrench, which I try to do kind of one at a time to pull that back fairly evenly. Get closer. Now the last thing I want to do after I've got some tension on there is I want to make sure that this belt tracks straight, which means as the bed moves back and forth, the belt stays in the center of the pulley as close as it can. If it gets to the edge, it may in fact ride up on the edge, where those edges are actually kind of sharp there. It could actually fray or damage the belt. So I'm just going to pull the bed back and forth and adjust it as I see it to see if I can get it to track in the center of that pulley. Ooh, there we go. Oh, too far. Just a shred too far. Takes a few times and a few adjustments, but it's tracking pretty much right in the center of that pulley, which I'm happy about. I got pretty good tension on there. It's not super tight. Just need to make some measurements to see about adjusting the spacer that I built for underneath the bed on the carriage. I'll bet I need to remove at least 5 millimeters from that spacer. I believe originally the spacer was 10 millimeters. So we'll take a look and see. So I'm going to pull this spacer out of here so I know exactly what it is and what I'm looking at. And apparently to do that, I've got to pull off the heated bed off of the carriage. And I did that by just removing the leveling nuts. So I can actually just take this off of here with my Allen wrench. And then there's the spacer that I created for when I raised the bed with the linear rails. So this is going to need to be a little bit less. Stay tuned. So I got my new spacer here, or as my good buddy Ivan Miranda would say, spacer! Anyways, go ahead and install that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the heated bed back on. All right, so the bed's back in place. I'll see if I can get some shots of the belt underneath so you can see exactly what happened, and hopefully everything down there is straight now and running true and not scrubbing the belt. So there you have it, another successful upgrade with Grim 3D. Bell runs true, everything looks good. I'll have to level the bed again, of course, because I removed it, and I'll be trying some prints later. Stay tuned. Remember, comment if you'd like, just keep it civil. Smash that like button, ring that bell. Definitely subscribe. We'll see you out there.